John chapter 11 is the famous section where it's the death of Lazarus and the raising of Lazarus. This is what I will always go to in the circumstances we have to endure where there is death and the death of a believer like Charlie. Charlie knew Jesus. Charlie's with Jesus now. But Lazarus died. You know the story. In verse 17 of chapter 11, John, it says this: "Now when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. So when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him. But Mary remained seated in the house. Martha said to Jesus, 'Lord, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died.'" Can I say something about that for a moment? That. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. I do think that the substance of that statement by Martha to Jesus is what we are all thinking in moments like this. It may come out in a different way, a different form, but it's the same thing. Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Lord, if you were present, if you were here, you could have stopped this. So there's sort of a, how do you put this? It's like a respectful accusation being made to Jesus. It's respectful, but it's also kind of an accusation. If you'd have been here, if you'd have been doing your job, if you'd have been the sovereign God that you say that you are, my brother wouldn't have died. How many people feel that with the death of a child, a loved one, at the hospital, watching your mom die, watching your dad die, watching a friend die? There's that feeling, this doesn't feel right, this is so wrong, this ought not to be. And that's true only if Jesus is who he says he is. Only if this is true can you think those thoughts. This ought not to be. Death is such an enemy. But she says, if you'd have been here, my brother wouldn't have died. I think there's no way to not see that as a veiled accusation, respectable accusation. If you'd been here, he wouldn't have died. And so there's like this just honest account of the pain of this human experience of a loved one dying. And she's saying, if you'd been here doing your job, if you'd been present, he wouldn't have died. So actually, Jesus, this is kind of your fault. And I am so thankful that God's word is just honest with moments like this. The pain of the human experience, the cry of the human heart is just like right there on the page. But then the text says, but even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. I don't understand, Jesus, because if you were here, he wouldn't have died. But nonetheless, I will trust you. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. If you'd have been here, he wouldn't have died. But nonetheless, I know that whatever you ask of God, he'll give to you. And so that's just, oh man. How we approach death like this has to be with that kind of honesty both ways. One, the honesty towards God that says just what you're feeling, not hiding it, saying it to him, being honest. I feel like this is your fault. Where were you? But then saying, but I know who you are, and I know that nothing is impossible for you. I know. And I know that you're good. And I know that you're faithful. I know that your word is true. I know that your promises are true. But then I can't think as just a Christian of a better way to communicate what's most important to the world right now and to Charlie's family. I can't think of better words than what Jesus says next. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? And so there's the question to ask. Do you believe this? Jesus is saying, if you believe in him and you die, you live. If you live and believe in him, you'll never die. Death is a defeated enemy with Jesus. So Charlie is with the Lord. He's alive with Jesus. That's Jesus' promise.